Preeti. Mr. Jarovar, Dr. Rajit Banerjee, Preeti, my friend Sudaraya, ladies and gentlemen, it's really a pleasure that I have the opportunity to interact with you on such a subject which is fast getting attention for everyone, particularly in the area of technology or where the data issue comes up there. This is a subject which is, a lot of people claim that they understand what needs to be done, but it's absolutely a new subject. The depth, width, length, any direction, it's still evolving and still we need to learn a lot of things, and that's why I feel pleasure because this opportunity gives to interact with you, understand better, because sooner or later we can't avoid this area to be made applicable to the subject which I deal with. The cyber security certainly has become a very important issue, and thanks to the media and many of the forums which has raised this pitch to a very high level. It used to be my thinking also some time ago, but the last 1.5 years, the kind of incident, I have the privilege to look into those incidents, or I have the privilege to access those incidents. Many of you would only hear the media say or some of the incidents there, but I come to know almost many of those serious incidents which has a big impact as a part of my official duty. So I feel that for the media raised a pitch today, my views were different about a year ago, is little far less. Media should have raised the more pitch, or maybe more forums like this should have been there to create those awareness or expose or make the people to understand the issues which are looming large to us. The cyberspace, as all of you know, has become very, very complex. Often the status is quoted that we have 950 plus million mobile phones. We have the smartphones taking the lead. It has gone from 7% in last 2 years to it's going almost 18%. And the percentage is expected to rise another 25% by next year. And then you see what kind of a shape, technological as well as other issues, other aspects, all mobile phones are taking. And then many other things which are happening in the cyberspace. These 950 million plus phones, in the next 3 years, the figure, worldwide figure, 950 is the Indian figure, but worldwide figure is almost going to be by a factor of 4 in the next 3 years. That's the prediction which the foreign consultants have made, and this is the prediction of IBM. The traffic which is going from the country is almost 1.5 terabits per second. That's the traffic which is going on, and the domestic traffic is lesser as compared to the international traffic which is going in the country or going out or coming into the country. Is almost 900 megabits per second and 600 megabits per second in the domestic traffic, 900 international, 600. This traffic itself is going to have a major impact by a factor of 10 in next 3 years. And look at the Facebook or Google's YouTube or other social networking site or Twitter. The kind of a tremendous traffic is going to come. Top of this, we still don't have exposure. We are still not thinking in a serious manner. The smart cities or smart grids, the percentage in the country is hardly 2% or so, and the growth rate is also similar, maybe 8%, 10% growth in the creation of so-called smart cities. Actually, they are not smart cities. Our critical sector or the grids, whether it's a power grid or water grid or any other grid, they are at a stage where we will need this modernization or will need upgradation significantly very soon. In fact, we have delayed it. So when this modernization or the technological upgradation happens, they all will be moving toward the smarts. And all those facilities or gadgets or the systems, they are now moving towards the connectivity. So there is an issue in terms of security. How do we secure those systems? Because when everybody is connected, every device is connected. The country is still in the process of planning it out to migrate to IPv6. We are still running IPv4. There are certain institutions which are running dual stack V4 and V6. But how long we can wait for V6? How long we can avoid V6 to adopt it? We have been talking to the service providers because the backend infrastructure of service provider also needs to be upgraded to locate the incident, crime incident or the security incident which we face on a day-to-day basis there. The number of systems which gets compromised per day last year was around 270 systems, and this year the numbers have gone up. It's almost 800 systems gets compromised every day. And the kind of the malwares or viruses which comes into the system is also mind-boggling. The Stuxnet, which many of you are familiar, not the later one, the lethal one thereafter which came. Today the malwares which are coming today, the Stuxnet doesn't remain anywhere in front of them. But there were 257 varieties of Stuxnet which we saw when it came and over a period of 1 year. So when you implement IPv6 in such a massive expansion of devices, traffic going up almost 15 terabytes per second, the device going up to, today we have 5 billion devices, it's all expected to go to some 18 billion devices. How do we analyze our situation? How do we control for constructive or different purposes there? I deal with the security, so I am concerned with the security. There is a service provider who deals with the services part of it, whether it's a billing or putting any additional value addition services, or many other aspects out there. How do you deal with those? How do we analyze those data? For some value-added services, service provider, he can look at his systems and he can really make his job is comparatively easier. But when it comes to the national security or the cyber security or such aspects, we have to look at the canvas becomes very spread out, really spread out, and problems gets compounded because any incident or any aspects which gets reason is not localized. It's a wide global issue comes up. Simultaneously many things comes up. I don't know how many of you are aware. Today the hackers, we may say they're all individual hackers, but the percentage of state-sponsored hackers is also risen quite appreciably. And those hackers are not using the unidentified system, they're all hidden servers. They're creating the hidden server. We were analyzing one incident and suddenly came across a broadband connection, and the home connection was using the bandwidth of 24 megabits per second. That was installed bandwidth. It was a home dial and dial ADSL connection. We got worried about it and we rang up. He said, I am using it, and he using it as a hidden server. Many of those issues which you find in your media, the freedom of expression, he was providing those services to put the content on the social media side because it's a hidden server. I may access the hidden server. Actually, what agencies will see or what the world will see, the hidden server which is posting it, but actually I am posting it. These are called Tor. This is the origin routing, T, O for origin and R for origin routing. Like a onion, you have the layers and layers. That kind of hidden servers are posted there. And there are millions of these such servers. Every day those servers gets updated. Every day some of the servers get closed. And I told you how many, more than 800 systems gets compromised every day, and you don't know which system they're going to do. Look at the Skype. I don't know how many of you, they have different domain systems, different routing systems there. You load a Skype on your system, and maybe sometime in a day, maybe sometime in a week, your system you become system, apart from communicating on a Skype, becomes a routing device. If someone tries to block one node, your system which hosts Skype, it starts acting as a radiator or a router. And there are 1.5 million such nodes in this part of the world. In this part of the world means in this country. Now, if you have such a large, massive data, look at the financial sector. You look at the financial aspects, or look at the security aspects of the financial sector. The digital data is coming up so high, so heavy data is coming up, it is becoming absolutely impossible to comprehend or to analyze data in a manual manner. And we are all, every organization, be it smaller or bigger or larger, we are all moving towards the so-called the big data. Big data is a big data. What big data? That is certainly not defined. Something which is big for my imagination, I define the big data which I can't comprehend or I can't analyze manually or with the conventional tools I can do that. We have entered into this world of big data, and we need to look at ourselves. What do we need? How do we analyze them? You have 13 root servers in the world which manage the entire internet. Out of 13, 11 are in USA, 2 are outside USA, 1 in Japan and 1 is in UK. Every internet connection has to pass through one of those root servers, and the data needs to be compiled with respect to all the 13 root servers. Now imagine when the traffic goes to, Indian traffic goes to almost 15 terabyte in next couple of years, how much data it will generate there. There is a need for such looking at the techniques and the processes that we put ourselves, we create the know-how, we create the infrastructure to look at the data, analyze the data, be it for professional purposes, be it for security purposes, or be for any subject. Among all the social networking sites, Twitter is the one social media site which sells you the feeds. Facebook doesn't sell you. Google, in any way, some of the large products are open, but Twitter gives you a feed. And if whatever data you find on the different sites in the country, Twitter data, they analyze what is the hot topic going on. There are many free sites which are putting the data. What is the now major tweet direction going on? How the things are moving on? Whether the government analyze or the private sector analyze or the advertisement company analyze, because some of the companies are also using the data for advertising or defining their own market strategy. It's only a fraction of the data they analyze it. not more than 2 to 4% data they analyze it, and that in Windows time also, in a particular Windows over there. This is the world which we are now living, and see what is going to have is much more complicated thing. And that's why the relevance of this seminar, in my view, is really important, because still the concept of big data and its impact on our society or today's thing is need to be appreciated, need to be understood, which today we lack. I am sure my other speakers will dwell on many of the subject, and I don't think this is a forum where I should say that what we need to do indigenously or what we don't do indigenously, but we need to understand this subject. We need to spend more time, more such interaction need to be understood, because better we understood, better we do that, there is no way we can reconcile the data. Even if the banking sector, core banking sector, look at it, checks you can cash from anywhere. Reconciliation require some kind of a technique and processes, or we call it a tool. So we need to understand, we need to adopt it and absorb it. Only then we can move further in today's digital era or the cyberspace. I think I come back when my other fellow speakers are able to put forward the view. Each one is expert in this area, and it will be really interesting to listen to them. Thank you very much.